Hello, welcome to the video. I'm Shane from Dawn of Comics, and we're going to talk about some comics. My last video, I said I was going to talk about my favourite trade, and here it is. It's Supergirl Many Happy Returns. It's the final 5 issues of the Peter David run from the mid-2000s, and it's got Linda Danvers' Supergirl in it. It's the most interesting version of Supergirl in my opinion, and I'm going to go into a little bit of that, why she's the most interesting, in a minute. I want to start with the basics for how this Supergirl came to be. After Crisis on Infinite Earths killed Kara Zor-El off, she wasn't in the comics for a long while, and then they brought in this Supergirl, otherwise known as Matrix Supergirl. She was a protoplasmic being from a pocket dimension that Superman saved, so she wore the S-shield and she took this form and became Supergirl. Her powers are telekinetic blasts, telekinesis, she can turn invisible, she can shapeshift, and she has this weird ability to, I have the cover here, turn into this rampage spiked version, really angry version of herself. Her costume, you can see, completely changes, and she just becomes this beast mode version of herself. And I mean, she only got a 4-issue miniseries, nothing major for this character. She was in quite a few Superman comics and action comics, and she had a one-shot with Lex Luthor where the two are dating because he's obviously using her as a weapon against Superman. Why else? She comes to her senses and leaves him, and then we get our Supergirl. This is the first trade, signed by Gary Frank. It's also signed by Peter David on the inside cover. This is where it begins. This is where Peter David gets hold of the Supergirl title, and he gets, I'm guessing he got free reign because he scrapped a lot of the Matrix Supergirl. He kept the design, so he kept the red skirt, he kept this basic design for most of this run. I know you probably noticed the white t-shirt version. I'll explain how that comes about in a minute. So he keeps this version, and you can see her there. So what happens is, in issue 1 of the Peter David Supergirl, Matrix Supergirl goes to save this girl here. Her name's Linda Danvers, and she's joined a cult, as you do, and her boyfriend is about to sacrifice her for that cult. Supergirl shows up, Linda's been attacked and she's dying, and the only way to save her is to merge with her. So Matrix Supergirl merges with Linda, and they become one person. They don't become, it's not like they're not hearing voices. Matrix Supergirl doesn't hear Linda, Linda doesn't hear Matrix. It's not a firestorm situation, it is just them becoming one person. And that person is, well, that person becomes my favourite version of Supergirl, hands down. There's no version that's better than this one. So it starts off, when she joins, Matrix Supergirl loses quite a bit of her power. She can no longer turn invisible, and the only shape-shifting she can do is from Linda Danvers to Matrix Supergirl. So when she becomes Supergirl, she just changes into this version, she just morphs into it. She still has her telekinesis, and she can still fly, she's still invulnerable, and things like that. As the story progresses, you find out that the Matrix Supergirl, the protoplasmic being, feels more human because she's now got a soul. So she's now whole, and Linda, who was a bad girl, like I said, joined a cult, she now feels worthy now that she's got a purpose. She now saves people. So she's Supergirl for a long time. She goes up against the Furies, she goes up against quite a few villains that you know from the Superman books. She makes a name for herself, and then we find out later in the book when Supergirl starts to show powers that she didn't have before. She starts showing wings of pure flame, and it turns out she's an earthborn angel. The connection with Linda, which is given a being without a soul, essentially a soul, has now created an earthborn angel, and so she has to learn to control those new powers, and then she has to learn to she comes up against threats from people that want to use the earthborn angel because there are prophecies about her and things like that. We then get to issue excuse me, we then get to issue 50, when the earthborn angel is ripped from Linda and they once again become two separate beings. The earthborn angel goes, she's taken somewhere, we don't know where at first, and Linda is left behind with a fraction of her powers. She's still super strong, still super fast, somewhat durable but not as invulnerable, and she can no longer fly, but she can leap 1/8 of a mile, and it makes for an interesting set of stories, especially when she goes up against some familiar foes that she pretty much took out with ease last time, but now has limitations. So she then becomes this version, and the way she becomes this version is she's in a mall, bad guys attack, she needs to save the day, she needs a disguise. So she runs into a costume shop, grabs a white Superman t-shirt, blue miniskirt, red go-go boots, and a tiny cape. She also gets a blonde wig because Linda Danvers is a brunette. So she's now got her costume. She's now her own version of Supergirl. She's a lot shorter. You see the difference in size in these books, where when you see her morph, she grows pretty much an entire foot from Linda to Supergirl. So now she's a smaller version of Supergirl. Everyone thinks she's a joke at first. They don't think that she's the Supergirl. They think she's a fangirl. And she continues her quest looking for the Earthborn angel Supergirl. So by this time, these last 5 issues, the issue before this, she's found the Earthborn angel, and she wanted to join back with her so they could become one again, but the Earthborn angel Matrix Supergirl had a mission. She had to go, she had to do her own thing, so she gifted Linda back her full power set, so that she now has her telekinesis, her flight, her invulnerability. She's got all her powers back, and this is where this book picks up. Now the reason this is my favourite, it's not just because it's the end of the run, because I loved the entire 80 issue run. It's because of the emotion in this book. You find out just what kind of hero Linda is, what she's willing to sacrifice, what she's willing to do to save everyone. So it starts off, and Linda Danvers is she's just enjoying having her powers back. She's just being invulnerable it's fun. The graphic, it has the individual issues. I'm going to actually show you those first. So this is how it starts. It starts with the homage to, it's the same cover, it's just this is done a lot more stylistically, and this is done a lot more cartoony. So this is the homage to Supergirl's first appearance. I have a Millennium edition of Supergirl's first appearance, so you see she's jumping out the rocket, and yeah, so they've done that and just replaced Superman with Supergirl. Put that back on the wall. So that's issue 75. I'll explain what's happening here. This is Kara Zor-El. This is pre-Crisis Kara Zor-El. This is the one that died in Crisis on Infinite Earths. She's landed on Earth, on Linda's Earth, so that's... And then she gets her parade. Miss Mxyzptlk's in this one. Again, really cartoony. And then we've got Kara going to school. Again, really cartoony. I'm not a fan of this overly cartoony style for this book. I do quite like it for the Super Sons, but not for Supergirl. Especially with some of the covers beforehand were just stunning. I mean, this is beautiful. Look at the faces on that. I mean, Linda Danvers, Supergirl, the white t-shirt Supergirl, I mean, Kara, they're beautiful. See, this style, this is what these previous issues should have had. Because then you've got the Crisis on Infinite Earths issue 8 homage cover, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, you can't beat that for art style. It's gorgeous. And then that's the final issue, Supergirl with the American flag. It's sad, but it's a great way to go out. It's a lovely cover to finish on. So those are the individual covers. Back to the trade. It's my reading copy because I can just flip through it really quickly. And yeah. So it starts off, Kara's just enjoying her powers. She's at her family's house, just chilling with her parents. Her mum's pregnant, and they're just having barbecue when all of a sudden a rocket lands. Rocket just lands, and Kara, obviously the hero, flies off to see what it is, and we get a great splash page. And it's Kara Zor-El, and she claims to be Supergirl, but for the past 74 issues we've had Linda Danvers as Supergirl, so this is a huge shock for Linda. They obviously have a fight. It's not a major fight. None of them are meaning to fight. I think Kara's powers just go off, and they have a quick fight, and after that it's just an issue of Kara talking to Superman and Superboy, trying to figure out if she really is a Kryptonian, if she's the Supergirl that she claims to be. And we have some fun Mxyzptlk action. He's just toying with Superboy and Supergirl. I love that style of Superboy. That costume is my favourite Superboy costume. When he took the leather jacket off and became that, Superboy is my favourite. So Mxyzptlk's playing with them. Just fun issues. See, it tricks you because you have these fun bits happening inside and you don't know what's coming. If you haven't read it, there are going to be spoilers ahead. But if you haven't read it and you get lulled into a false sense that this is just going to be a fun book throughout, and it ends up not being very fun at all. So Kara and Supergirl become really good friends. They save the day together. They go to school. Well, Linda's a little bit too old to go to school, but she's a teacher. Teacher's assistant at the school. So they're there, and then by night they save the day, carrying planes and just saving people, and they just become the Supergirls. And they are the Supergirls. They are content to be the Supergirls of the planet and just save it and carry on. We also have a side story going on. There's this bad guy here, and he's collecting Supergirls from every universe, and he's torturing them and killing them. And every time he gets more powerful, and he's looking for the one, and you don't know which one that is at the moment. We're obviously going to find out later in the book. You might be surprised which one you think it is. So as we go again, we get a fight. I mean, look at this art. Look at that. Look, it's just the art alone in this book is enough to make you want to read it. So this guy attacks the Supergirls. They fight back. Obviously, no one's a match for two Supergirls. And then we get Spectre. Spectre's about because there's a problem in the multiverse. Something's happened, and that something is Kara's ship has been knocked off course. It was supposed to land pre-New 52, pre-crisis, but it's landed post-crisis, and that needs to be set straight. So Kara and Linda are fighting their bad guy, and then when we get to Spectre showing up, he decides to tell Linda and Kara about Crisis. He tells them exactly what's meant to happen, and with Kara being on this Earth at this time, it's not going to happen. So Linda, being the superhero that she is, takes Kara's place and lets Kara stay on her Earth while she takes her place, knowing that she's going to die in the Crisis. And it is just, it's a sacrifice that Linda would make, because we've grown with her for 75 issues. We know what kind of hero she is. So she leaves, and she goes to the new Earth, and when she lands, she jumps out of the rocket. Well, she actually falls out of the rocket and meets Superman. and pretends to be his cousin. And he accepts this as he would. This is pre-crisis Superman, so he's a little bit more gullible. So he believes that she's Kara, and they have a great celebration to welcome her to Earth. Superman and Supergirl, and they're the Superman and Supergirl of pre-crisis, and things get a little bit crazy on that Earth. Superman discovers that Linda is not his cousin. He says he's known from the start, but he thought she was tricking, so he wanted to see what she was doing. And when she showed no signs of malice or evil intentions, he just let her carry on. But now he's told her that he knows she's not his cousin, he knows she's not Kryptonian, and he knows she's human. And the reason he's told her this is because he's fallen in love with her. And this is okay because they're not related. They are not cousins. Linda has no relation to Clark whatsoever. She's fully human. He's fully Kryptonian. That's absolutely fine. And I have to say it's absolutely fine because the next page they get married. And it's, look at that dress. Look at that. So Superman and Linda are married. I don't know why Lois is not with him in this universe. I think maybe just Linda being Linda has just created a wave that has just caused him to fall in love with her. So they're married, and they have a child. They have a daughter. And while this is going on, Kara is dealing on her Earth with the villain that is searching for Supergirls throughout all the realities. Back on pre-crisis Earth, here there's Superman and Supergirl's daughter. Supergirl has grown up and become Superwoman. Her costume's changed, she's covered her stomach, her sleeves are longer. She's now Superwoman, and she's happy. She's got a daughter, she's got a husband, she's got a planet she can save because she knows that pre-crisis is when bad guys always lose and good guys always win. But she knows her time's coming to an end and she will have to sacrifice herself. And when Spectre shows up, she accepts this. She says goodbye to her daughter and she tells the Spectre that she's ready. But there's a problem. She's created so much of a wave on this new Earth, this new timeline, that she's messed everything up, and all of reality and all the universes are at stake, and this universe needs Kara. So she's going to have to go back, put Kara in the ship and send her back and completely erase this timeline. And Linda has one condition, and that one condition is that her daughter survives, understandably. And her daughter must survive no matter what, and that's her one rule. And the Spectre agrees. He will save her daughter in some way, shape or form. She will still exist. And Kara agrees, and she comes back just in time to save Kara. And when she saves Kara from this guy who's killing all these Supergirls, she has to set the timeline straight. And the way she does this is with a single blow. One single blow, she knocks Kara unconscious, puts her in the capsule, and sends her to the pre-crisis universe, knowing that she's going to die. And that's a decision that was too hard for her to bear. She has written a letter to Superman, and she's explained to him that she can't be Supergirl anymore. She can't do it. She's lost too much, and what she's lost is not only her daughter, but she lost a part of herself when she sent someone to her death. And even though she knew it was for the right reasons, she couldn't live with herself. And she sends Clark and Lois her T-shirt. And I think another reason she can't be Supergirl is because she's in love with Clark. It might not be this Clark, but she's in love with Clark. So she leaves, and her daughter is somewhere. Her daughter is out there in some time and some place, and she's there. And this final issue is all written as a letter to Superman. It starts with her explaining, and it ends with her explaining, and it's so emotional, it's so heartfelt, and you just feel for her so much. She went through so much, and this is a beautiful and sad but also amazing way to say goodbye to Linda Danvers. I say goodbye because this is the last time you ever see her. She did do a tiny little 2 or 3 pages in a Batman Superman issue where they had to collect all the Supergirls throughout time, and she was on maybe 2 or 3 pages of that. She didn't have any lines. It was really sad. The only time we see her after this is in Reign in Hell issue 1, where she somehow has gone back to being an Earthborn angel. I don't think the writers of this know what happened in this. I think they just know that Supergirl was an Earthborn angel, and I mean they did her dirty in this issue. I'm not going to lie. I've only got it because Linda Danvers is in it, but this is the star. Saying Supergirl's daughter and Superman's daughter survived. She did, and she's in her own comic. She's got a slightly different style. She's got more of an afro hairstyle or curly hairstyle there, as opposed to the long dark locks. But she's in Supergirl 1 million, so she survived, and what they've done is they've sent her forward in time to the 87th century. 1 million was a line where DC jumped all their issues forward to issue 1 million, so they're all set in the year 87,000. A random thing that DC used to do for their specials. But so that's Aurora, that's Supergirl and Superman's daughter, not incest daughter. That's there's no relation there whatsoever. So yeah, that's my favourite trade. I hope you like it. I hope a load of you have read it, and if you have, let me know what you thought of it. If you love it as much as me, or if you hate it, let me know. Either way, I'd love to try and change your mind and get you to like it. Comment below or find me on Twitter at Dawn of Comics. We're also over on Facebook, facebook.com/Dawn of Comics, where we have hundreds of reviews, written reviews for comics, not just DC. We've got Marvel, we've got Boom, we've got Dark Horse, we have Media, 451 Media, Action Labs, all of them. They're all over there. Pop on over, check out the reviews, and let us know what you think. And next time I might do a few variant covers rather than talking about the books themselves. I want to just show off some great covers that I've bought. Yeah, so hopefully I'll see you again. Hope you like the video, and take care. Bye.